I want to talk about the people that no one mentions, at least not in a positive light anymore. And not the talking heads on TV, and not the politicians, and not the names on buildings. I'm talking about the forgotten Americans, the ones who get up at the crack of dawn for a job they hate and accept a pay that just doesn't cut it anymore, and still feel invisible in a country that they helped build. And if you go to work and no one notices, no one cares, no one thanks you, you're part of forgotten America. That nurse who's on their third 12-hour shift, or the warehouse worker with a bad back at 45, or the home health care aide caring for the elderly that no one even visits anymore. You see, it doesn't matter if you're in a small town or a big city. Doesn't matter. You do everything that you're supposed to do. You work and you pay your taxes and you vote. Yet you still get treated like you're nothing more than, background noise. People love to believe that forgotten America is just some small rural town somewhere where the factory closed. And yeah, true enough, that's part of it, but it's also the city bus driver who can't afford to live on his route, or the security guard standing guard of a building where the rent is more than his fucking monthly salary. What about that older couple at the pharmacy who are standing in line trying to choose between paying a bill this month or getting their medication? It doesn't matter. All different zip codes, but all the same story. It's like that the cost of living is squeezing the life out of everybody in this country. Between rent and groceries, utilities, insurance, everything is up. And one job just doesn't cut it anymore. People are out here working full time and being forced to add side gigs just to survive. Not to get ahead, just to survive. And people, that's not building a future. How could it be? That's simply treading water until the inevitable happens. And it's all the little surprise hits, too, that never seem to stop. The fees, the late charges, the service charges. You look at your account and you realize, shit, half the problem is it is not what you bought. It's what they tacked on afterwards. It just nowadays feels like every system is in this fucking country is designed for one reason and one reason only. And that's to keep his hand in your pocket. And then you turn on the TV or scroll on your phone. It just hurts to hear them talking down about the average American like they do. The names that they call us lazy and backwards and bitter. We didn't adapt to the changing times. We weren't able to keep up. Oh, and the latest one, no talent. Did you hear that one? Yet people are out here busting their asses, working 2 jobs, and still being told that they are the problem. And people, it doesn't matter where you're from, because you still catch the blame. And meanwhile, the people who are making all the calls for us, they ride by or fly right over our neighborhoods, and they never even stop to step inside there. Problem is, they don't have to live with the consequences of their choices. We do. So what ends up happening? We end up angry and alone and isolated, like a tool someone uses, but not a person anyone would listen to. And then every few years, the politicians show up. Here they come, like clockwork, rolling into town and shaking hands and kissing babies. Touring a factory that'll be closed in 2-3 years. Tell you how important you are to the campaign. And then what do? Up and disappear. Make no mistake about it, people. Both sides love you when it's time to vote. But let me ask you this. When was the last time a politician in power did something that actually made your day-to-day life easier. And I'm not talking about some fucking speech or slogan that gave you a chubby. I'm talking about something real, something tangible. Because what I'm seeing, most people don't believe in the system anymore. Now, they'll still show up. They'll still do what they're supposed to do as Americans. Like, they'll still vote. But sometimes they'll vote for someone they don't even like, just to send a message to the higher ups that, hey, we're still here. Sometimes people vote just to try to hold on to whatever little faith they still have left in this country. And most people, they vote out of habit. But people, what I'm seeing is most people's faith in this country, it isn't what it used to be. I'm starting to think that a whole lot of people have given up on the American dream. So how do you keep a system alive when the people that it was designed for no longer even believe in it? There was a time when our country sold one simple promise: work hard, do the right thing, and you'll be okay. Now, you won't get rich and you won't get famous, but you'll be okay here. You were assured of a roof over your head, a running car, some fridge and the food, a couple of bucks in your pocket, and the belief that your kids could have a better life than you did. Problem with that is it's not happening anymore. And now more and more people are starting to look around and say, whoa, hold on, buddy. I held at my end of the bargain. Well, where's the payoff that you promised me? You did the overtime and you stayed loyal to companies that were never loyal to you. You raised your kids, you helped your parents, and you tried not to be a burden to anyone or to the country. You did all that. And yet here we are in 2025, and you're one emergency away from losing everything. One emergency room run, or a car breaking down, or just one. And all this stress on you, people, it does something to you. You learn not to trust. You don't trust the news or the politicians or hell, even the company you work for. Man, most people don't even trust their neighbors anymore. It's like everyone's so tired. Tired of arguing, tired of being talked down to, tired of always being told that everything is their fault. Hell, most people nowadays, they're just tired of being tired. But people, here's the part that needs to be taken seriously, and I mean deadly serious. You can't run a country with people who feel invisible. And there's a whole hell of a lot of people in this country who feel invisible. You can't keep telling people that they matter while everything around them in their daily life says just the opposite. You see, the people who drive the trucks or clean the rooms or care for the sick or watch the kids, when those kind of people, the salt of the earth, as I like to call them, but when they stop believing that the system has any interest in them, that's no longer a small problem, people. That is what I like to call a major crack in the foundation. And we all know about crack foundations, right? If you don't address that problem, you allow it to continue, everything will come crumbling down. And I mean everything. And most of the forgotten Americans that I'm speaking of and been talking about, they don't require a lot. As a matter of fact, they're not asking for a lot. They're not asking for a miracle. They just want that deal that they were promised. They want that shot at the American dream. Don't we all? If you work, you should be able to live in this country. And if you follow the rules, you shouldn't get crushed when something goes wrong. You should be able to trust your politician. When they tell you they're going to do something, they should do it. And people have paid into the system their whole lives. The system shouldn't turn its back on them when they need it the most. And I don't think that's too much to ask. So we look at this country and we see the state that we're in, and we see everybody angry. And then when you see people voting in ways that shock everybody, and It may even go against our own self-interest. And when you start to hear this, something is wrong in this country. When you start hearing that, take heed, people. That means the common man is starting to feel it. That's a warning. And it's not just politics. This is a warning from the people who feel like they've been carrying the weight of this country on their backs for years. But nobody's bothered to learn their names or listen to them or even represent them. And people, I'll be honest with you. I don't have a neat YouTube ending here. No magic fix for this problem or a 3-point plan to how we can get out of this. I'm not a politician, though. I say handle it like we always handle shit as Americans. Face it head on. You see, millions of people in this country did exactly what they were told, kept this place afloat. And now those people feel abandoned on the side of the road. No one likes that feeling. And if we're being totally honest here, which we are, we should all be asking one hard question. What happens to a country when the people holding it up stop believing it gives a damn whether they stand or fall? I think we all know the answer to that question. They stop caring whether it falls. Now we can all go and put our heads in the sand, but people hiding from it won't change the outcome. The only way to change what is definitely going to happen at some point is to come together. And I know you remember the old saying, united we stand and divided we fall. People, it's time we put the division and the foolishness and the pettiness aside. It's time for the working people in this country to come together and stand as one, because we need change. We all need change. But the only way we'll ever get that change is together. We can force policy. Make no mistake about that. We can force the politicians to do exactly what we want, but we got to do it together. Are you guys old enough to remember unions? I know some of you are. Unions were a very good example of what can be accomplished when you work together. People used to think the things that unions were requesting, they'd never get, but they got them. They got them. We can do the same. We just got to get over this silliness and this pettiness. People, we are the cogs in the wheel that make this machine go around. And we're being overlooked. We're being used and played. People tell us whatever we want to hear when they want to get elected, but they never follow through or honor what they're saying. We need to get those people out of office. But hey, I just wanted to come on and talk about the forgotten Americans. I see so many people, man, just working, and it's like people have almost given up. And I hate to see that. I hate to see a guy go to work 8, 12 hours a day and barely make it. It shouldn't be like that. You know it and I know it. But hey, I'm not going to ramble. At any rate, if you got anything you want to say or add to this, please, by all means, drop them down below. Let's talk about it. But people, it's not us, but we can do better. We can do a hell of a lot better, but we got to get together. At any rate, take care of yourself and each other. I'm kindness, love, respect. We need to show a lot more of these fellas. But at any rate, I'll catch you guys in the next one.